big night. I am super stoked to have this guy in here tonight. To say we have some history, I think
a lot of years behind us.
We are very honored, proud to have Shaun Murray here with us. He is a performance rider, probably the longest one active, I would say now.
This year is my 20th pro model, and that's the boards that we have here behind us, and really happy with that shape.
Well, the cool thing too is you've got from kids models all the way up to a 150, and the great thing is for riders of any ability level, you can put a guy of your caliber on it, but somebody like me who's a weekend warrior that still wants to go out and ride, now I've got something in a size that's easy on my body, but still a performance model. I mean, it's not holding anything back. But the other cool thing is, look at the kids board.
So, I'm really happy about this, especially the graphic. But where these boards came from was, I want to take my knowledge of how I want to be able to boost into the air. I want to make my landing smooth. Sometimes I want to just carve. I want to keep it fun. But more than anything, I want to keep doing it. So how do I make it easier on my body? So surface area.
Yep.
The more surface area makes it easier to get into the air, makes the landings easier. But I wanted it to be something that I could put my kids on. I got 3 daughters that they're little Groms, and they're out there on the same shape that I'm riding. But I also want the guy who goes, nah, I just wake surf. I don't wakeboard anymore. It's too hard on my body. Don't say that yet. I've got a shape for you that I want you to try. It goes all the way up to a 150. That sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, guys that are not much bigger than me, I'm only 5.5 feet tall. Guys not much bigger are riding the 150. Or if you want, you can get on the 144. Don't be afraid to try something bigger, because it can keep you in the sport longer than you thought you could ride.
So if somebody's coming in to look at these boards, I mean, typically you have a weight range of height, Who do you put on a 150? Is there a certain size person?
I can go all the way down to somebody just bought one recently that I was coaching. I said, just try this. I don't tell them what size it is. I say, hey, I want you to try a board. And I don't say it's a 150. They ride it. And I literally have done interviews with people. I'm like, hey, what'd you think of that? Oh, I loved it. It was awesome. What size do you think it was? One guy was like, like a 138. I go, no, it's a 150.
No kidding.
A lot of guys are thinking it's a 140 something. But so the most recent guy who bought this was about 5'9", maybe
really
165, maybe 170. But this thing can also put those guys who haven't had a board that I think is big enough for them yet.
So obviously you ride for Nautiques, and they're amazing G-series boats throw out a monster wake. Is this going to be something that's really suited to that for somebody that's riding a possibly bigger wake and can handle impact from going so big just because of
it's not to just sound like a salesman, but it's honestly, you go try it and you'll know what I'm talking about. You could be behind a boat that doesn't have much of a wake, and you can just carve and cruise, and when you do get into that wake, because of the surface area, it's going to do more with them.
Okay.
People think it's too much in the air.
So on that, for years and years, I heard Shaun Murray's pro models, continuous rocker, and now we have kind of a slight hybrid of that.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the biggest reasons that I've kept my boards continuous rocker is not only the theory of it's nice on my body, I like the feel of it, I like the feel on the water, it has soft landings, but it's this guy right here, him saying keep your boards continuous because it's nice on customers' bodies. It's consistent, it's fast, and so I have kept it somewhat continuous, but we accelerated the rocker. Standing right about under the feet, the rocker speeds up a little bit, so I can get kind of that 3-stage pop, yet have that softness of a belly through the middle of the board.
Well, so, the nice thing, from selling your boards, I mean, it's something you put any rider on, and that's somebody comes in, you typically ask them, what are you riding, and whether they're riding something that's continuous rocker, abrupt 3-stage. Very rarely does anybody not get on this type of shape and really love it. And this one especially, with the demos we've had, people are definitely, it's going to be a good year for Shaun Murray.
I'm already seeing awesome sales from it. And the overall thing, what I'm looking for in a board is I want something to fit my rhythm. So when you get out on the water and you say, let's go this way, I want it to be in my rhythm, right? Now some boards you're going to have to be like, oh, it's a little slower, it's a little faster. But I really try to get my boards in a relaxed rhythm, and I find that a lot of people are in that same rhythm. And you get on it, you go, this board is in my rhythm.
It's funny you say that. When you watch you ride, I mean, obviously you have a board called the Fluid, but your riding style is very fluid. How you connect turns and link your tricks together, and that totally makes sense of having a rhythm of how you ride, whether you're going bigger or smaller, or just carving. That's very, very. I hadn't even thought about that.
And the thing that I really like to do, like you're saying, if you're not into the air, for me playing on the water is very important. And so we added the belly that I've had for a long time, the rolled toe side and heel side edges. But one of the things you'll notice is even though it's a 150, it's not heavy.
No.
We went thinner on this than we've almost gone on any board at Hyperlite, and so we've ditched a lot of tip and tail weight.
Yep.
So that allows us to keep the board light, but we thicken up between the feet so it's still stiff enough to withstand big impact.
Well, I noticed too on the tip and tail you have a little bit of a concave and that softer flex. Obviously, I know you ride a lot of cable park, OWC, and all the action parks. Is there a little bit of that cable influence in this? Can you ride it at the park?
I am riding it at the park right now, and I'm riding it finless, but I found like I'm really enjoying it so much that we're actually kind of working on taking this thing into even more of a serious cable board with possibly a different bottom. But that cup tail that you're talking about is getting on not only when you want to go into the wake and push off the water and really feel that water push back, but it also allows you to go and walk on rails.
So for somebody looking for a board versatile enough, you can ride behind the boat, you can ride behind the cable, it's super user friendly. I think the one key thing that you forgot to say is price point. I mean, you're not at that $500 price point. It's like Shaun Murray, being the businessman he is, like, I want to sell a lot more of these boards. Let's give them all the feature and all the bang, but at a much better price.
Yeah, so the package, I fought for it for a long time. I was like, I want more people on my board, not just so I can go and get, like the financial benefit of it. I just want people to feel this thing and encourage them by bringing the price down.
Well, I think that speaks volumes about who you are and like more bang for the buck, but really getting people on boards that work for them at a price that's a really, really good price for the value of what it is. So congratulations, also your graphics are awesome. I like kind of the retro but still new.
This was the chimp on here is kind of a little bit of an homage to the stuff that I do on my backyard gym to get monkey strong, and when we were talking about my graphics, they asked me a lot about American Ninja Warrior and my experience on that, and so that's kind of where that came from. And then the bug graphic, that was one of the big sellers way back in the day, and I was excited to share that with you when we were bringing this back, and even the little upside down ambergram,
I didn't see that
license plate in there. There's a lot of little hints in there.
Little nuggets. The average guy doesn't think about it, but that's the cool thing. We learned about this. It's nice to see kind of that homage to the past, but I still want to bring back the old graphics. I think the classic series would be great, but this is cool. I mean, graphics are killer, and the kids one is awesome too. I'm really stoked with that.
I like you said, the biggest thing for both of us is putting smiles on people's faces. I like to do it through my shapes. You like to do it by putting people on them, so thank you.
Thank you.